Okay, somebody asked me on the previous video, will the royals ever be out of power? The British royals? No, they'll never be out of power. This is why you should never be, developed. I mean, I remember you go to like David Icke's forum, and you see, or other forums like that, and you see people during royal weddings and stuff like that going absolutely psychotic, saying, when will the people realise that these are our enemies, or these have to be, these people are crazy, or they're, in the case of that group, they're reptilians or whatever, have to get rid of them. Well, it doesn't work like that, and you never will get rid of them. The British royal family especially, absolutely you won't. Now, someone like me, or someone like most of my audience, I always say how proud I am of my audience, that most of you are not people who are spellbound or hysterical, or you generally tend to be measured thinkers, which is what I don't think anyone else could ever really follow my work, because I don't tell people how to think or anything like that, or expect them to follow me, I just put stuff out there. I'm not looking for followers, but like in that kind of sense where you follow me and listen to everything I say, you repeat everything I say. But in terms of the royal family, if one of us saw a royal family member came in here now, and one of us saw them, we'd just go, oh look, there's Prince Charles. Oh, that's interesting. Oh wow, that'd be a novelty. It'd just be a novelty. Well, when a regular meat golem or NPC sees a member of the British royal family, they're absolutely captivated and completely filled with love for them, because they have a staggering levels of charisma. Now, I have a fair bit of charisma, but I've had to actually generate that in my life, because I don't get it from blood. I come from absolutely nothing. My ancestors were they were Dublin working class people, and before that they were sheep shaggers in County Cavan. And I've got like ancestry from other places, possibly Iberia and so on, but as far as I know, I'm just like a peasant all the way back. So I have to work for it. It doesn't matter if they have big ears and inbred looking or weird looking, they still have that power, these royals, because they have blood. They have the blood of ancient kings and very ancient power forces in them. They are proof that black magic works. Now, those of you say, oh, black magic never works. No, the royals are proof that black magic works. They're from the era that Graham Hancock talks about, that existed before, and Randall Carson, before the previous civilization. They're survivors of that in a bloodline DNA sense. And they've carried that bloodline and DNA all the way through to today. So this is why you have, and all the power connected, and all the charisma and all the adoration and fear and everything else, and symbolism through their regalia poured into that blood is in them today. So they only have to show up. It doesn't matter what they look like, how stupid they are. The blood, it's almost like their blood has the charismatic power that literally spellbinds the meat golems and the NPCs, and they're the majority of society. We're just a tiny minority. It's not funny. Now, so you look at Prince Charles and you say, oh, look at the state of the fucker with his big ears and so on. Well, he's banged women that most men couldn't even dream of, because he has that blood inside him. Now, he has the blood of the Ptolemies, so that's Alexander the Great and Cleopatra. And this is just from the second civilization after the Great Disaster. He has the blood of Vlad the Impaler, and all the every single one of the Irish kings are now, blood-wise, are now absorbed into the British royal family, the English royal family. The same with the Scottish; they're all kings are all involved in, and so are all the European kings. They're all in there. And then I remember, and this is what gives them the charisma. I remember when I was living in the US, Princess Diana was assassinated. And Americans were actually crying in the streets and everything. And when they were they're supposed to be people that broke away from the royalists, and they were flying. They were chartering jumbo jets to go to her funeral. That's what they were like. And I had an English friend there who was telling me it wasn't the royalists, and people were coming up to him, Americans with tears in their eyes, giving him condolence for losing their commoner princess. they thought they're so stupid. Some of these Americans. I'm sorry, some of you are, and they were saying things to me like, "I bet you're glad she's dead." Like they think because I'm Irish, I hate everybody who's English or anyone with an English accent, because Americans tend to think in stereotypes anyway. The Americans NPCs and the meat golems, not the intelligent Americans, so clued in Americans, but. The so-called commoner that she came from the Dukes of Marlborough, so she had the same blood as Winston Churchill and that whole bunch, and through the Spencer family, almost certainly the blood of the royal house of David, so the ancient Israeli kings. And so her children have that too, Harry and William, and they also have the other side, the Ptolemies and all the others, everything else in between. You will never destroy that. You will never overcome that. What happened with the Romanovs was basically a different thing altogether. Even though Alexandria was actually a member of the British royal family, the Saxe-Goldbergs and Coburgs, the Hanoverians, the Prussians, and she married this guy, Tsar Nicholas, who was a very weak man and a very weak individual. And even though that side of the family, the Romanovs, were destroyed, I guarantee you they will come back. This is what you see. Even the Jesuits are on the side of them. When the Fatima predictions were made, written by the Jesuits years and decades after the Fatima event happened, which was actually an extraterrestrial, interterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial experience in Portugal. The Jesuits turned it into a Marian thing, and they said that the fate would be lost from Russia, tried to make it sound as if the Virgin Mary predicted communism. They were really talking about the Romanov royal family, and even if you go to Russia today, you will meet millions and millions and millions of Russians who want the royal family put back in. That's could very possibly happen in our lifetimes. It's not that absurd. It happened in Spain, remember, after Franco, the royal family came back. And also they're Prussians as well. So you're talking about a bloodline that has astounding charisma just by what it's carrying through it. So you see, like even the Savile, you know my thing on Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was protected because Jimmy Savile's mother really was a duchess. She was one of them, and that's why he was protected. This looks pretty cool here in the silhouette. And they'll never be out of power. They'll never ever be out of power because they have a charisma that's godlike to the meat golems and the NPCs. You remember that movie The Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood, a film that has a lot of esoteric undertones. It's a western, even though there's a scene in it where Richard Harris plays a character called English Bob, and he's on a train, and it's after some American president has been assassinated, I think McKinley. And he's saying, "Oh, dear boys, the reason why you had no president, the president is dead, is because you don't have a royal family. If an assassin beheld a member of royalty, he would be frozen, as in frozen in fear." And that's what he's talking about, that power, that magic, that charismatic thing. And you can sit there talking about they're all inbreds and all, they're all horrible, but they will always be kind of gods upon this earth for many hundreds if not thousands of years. So those of you who are waiting for the British royal family to go away, you can just forget about that. That's never going to happen. What's going to happen is they will always be there, and you will always be subject to royal weddings. Even here in Ireland, we allegedly fought against the British crown for our independence, but when Charles and Camilla came up here to Sligo a few years back, that's cool, I like that. A few years back, they were practically ejaculating in their trousers with the sight of them. And the same with when they had the last royal wedding, all the women here at work were all watching the royal wedding on the laptop, and I've never seen them watch a sport event or anything to do with Ireland, but they were watching the royal wedding between Ginger and, what's her name, Kate Middleton. It also has nothing to do with race. You will find, they'll talk about like Kate Middleton is black. You will find that that's nothing. It's the blood they're after, not the skin colour. This is another reason why racism means nothing. It's this blood underneath there. It's not the skin colour. It never is a skin colour. And so she would have the royal kings of Africa. You don't know what's in there. The great kings, the great Zulu kings, they're all given deals. or she may have had a white ancestor who was, I mean, of royalty as well. It's the blood. The blood is powerful, and it goes right back to ancient times, and it will never, as long as this planet remains the way it is, they'll never be out of power. So that's me done for the day. I'm going home from work now, and I hope you had a good weekend, and thanks for checking out the videos and looking at them, and look after yourself, and don't waste your life on things like worrying about the royal family. Create, love, practice magic, enjoy nature, and do not get sucked into this 11/11 ritual tomorrow. Don't do anything. Just ignore it, and you'll be safe. Okay, see ya. Peace out.